Hey there, Skeleton Key here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Tonight we're going to be discussing the books that I finished last week, and that's week 23 of the year. And be looking ahead to what I am reading or hoping to get started on this coming week or this current week. And yeah, and so if you're watching live, you can hop into the chat here. And yeah, if you have any comments or questions about anything that I'm talking about, or if you just want to tell me, just share what you're reading or, what's going on in your life, that's fine too. And then if you are catching me on the replay, then you can go into the comment section and you can comment there. But let's go ahead and get started on the book report. I changed my little banners and things, and wow, that's a lot bigger than I remember it being with the other style. I may change it back. I don't know. What do you think? Do you like this, or do you like it better the way it was? Anyway, let's share my screen and show you the first book that I finished last week. And that is Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. And this is a very gothic, this calls it wickedly funny vacation gothic. And the idea here is that family vacations are hell, literally. So Anna is going on this family vacation at this Italian, this Tuscan villa. And it's her and her twin brother and her sister and her brother-in-law and her parents and two nieces. I forget. It's this big bunch of people who don't really get along that well, but they're family. So they vacation together every year. And of course, the patriarch of the family just spends most of the time grumbling about how much it's costing him. And it's like, why do you do this? And Anna especially does not fit in with this bunch. And I spent a lot of the book going, are you sure you're not adopted? Yeah, I don't think I'm spoiling anything to tell you that no, as far as we know, she's not adopted. It's just, this is a very highly dysfunctional family. Things are not going well. And this villa that they're renting for I don't know how many weeks is nice and creepy. There's the tower room, and everyone's like, "Oh man, that's the best room. Why is it locked up?" And the thing is, they gave the caretaker or whatever for this villa gave the key to the tower to one of the vacationers, but said, "Don't open it." It's like, then why'd you give it? But yeah, there's more to that, and there's a lot more than meets the eye about this villa. And Anna sort of gets drawn into the mystery of the villa, and this woman right here is kind of key to the whole thing. I love this cover, by the way. I just think this is an amazing cover. And you don't really get the full significance of it until pretty late into the story. And so it's just like, why is it? Why? But yeah, you'll find out. It's super creepy, and it's just, now if like family angst, dysfunctional family, if that kind of story bothers you, you will have a hard time, because that is a lot of this. And the creepiness and all the stuff going on at this villa, all the obviously supernatural stuff, is just amps it up. So just fair warning before you go in, be prepared for that. The ending, I love the ending. A lot of people hated the ending. So it is divisive. Some people complained about some pacing issues. Some people thought it was too confusing. I wasn't confused by it, except for the goat. I'm still not sure. And I have a feeling it was mentioned, but maybe I was listening at too high a speed at that point. But yeah, the goat, I am still a little confused about what the purpose of the goat was. I don't know, other than to be just kind of creepy, but I imagine everything seemed to have a purpose. I don't feel like there was any wasted creep factor. Everything meant something. So I really felt like that was done well. There were a few things, and I'm not going to spoil it because they're pretty far in, but there were some things near the end that I was just like, I don't think that was necessary. But I don't know. You could make an argument for it, and I'm sure, at some point some editor or she or somebody said, "Do we need this?" And the answer was yes. So they put it. They kept it. There were a few things like that I was just like, I don't care for that. But the rest of it I thought was pretty well crafted. So if you're looking for something creepy and gothic, but a modern day setting, and and Tuscany, yeah, it's well done. And I think that's the only thing I have for screen share. So, yeah, I would recommend that to a lot of people. There are, but it's not one of those things I would recommend to everybody. But if that sounds like something you're looking for, I would recommend it. Just be prepared for some things that are kind of uncomfortable. Okay, so then the second book I finished, and this was actually, and I'll go ahead and show you because I found it. This is the Roll Your Next Read game board. And so it's like a bingo thing, but you've got dice rolls across the top and dice rolls down the side. And so I've been doing shorts for the dice rolls. So you can actually peek ahead and see what I have already read this week. But this was my first dice roll, and it was a blank square, and I had written in the word owl. And I was looking at my owl, and then it was the first thing I rolled up. I was like, oh, okay, I need to pick an owl book. And it's like, me, I have lots of owl books. But then I opened my package from Thrift Books, and it's like, oh, I forgot. I ordered this. This is Owl Moon. This is by Jane Yolen, illustrated by John Schoenherr. Schoenherr? I think that's how it's pronounced. My German's not great. And this also, I counted this for going for the gold on the 52 Book Club. The 52 Book Club Summer Reading Challenge is all Olympic themed, and one of the gold level prompts was going for the gold, and this literally has a gold Caldecott medal, on the cover. So, like, okay, that works. But this is the story of a girl and her father, right? Father? Yeah, father. I was like, not grandfather. At some point I was thinking grandfather, but this girl and her father go owling. And I guess some people have been, in the reviews, they said, oh, we thought they were owl hunting, going to kill the owls. And it's like, no. The no owls were harmed. Well, the bright light, there is a bright light at one point. I kind of wonder about that, but and it's the story, but it's not in verse exactly, but it is very poetic, the sort of poetic. The style is very poetic, and it's not formatted like regular prose, but absolutely gorgeous illustrations. It's a really nice snapshot of a story. This little outing to go see if they can find an owl to hoot at. But yeah, if you're looking for an owl book, that's a nice one. And then the third and final book that I finished last week was also, this is what I had gone to Thrift Books to order, trying to find a copy of this because it's a really old book. This is 60 years old. Yeah, this came out in 64. And this is a childhood favorite of mine, and this is Quacko and the Elps. This is by Robert Froman, and who is the illustrator? I mean, it's not a picture book like Owl Moon, but it does have illustrations, and that's by Jean MacDonald Porter. And you can see illustrations like this. And the roll I made on Roll Your Next Read was for library, and this is a library discard. You can see little stamps all over the pages inside that this is belonged to Northern Private School, and it belonged to Lake Worth Public Library in Lake Worth, Florida. This here recommends grade 4 through 6. I would say this is elementary school, younger middle school maybe, but yeah, it is a kid's book, and I had such fun memories, and I was really worried that it was not going to hold up well. It held up remarkably well. I think Robert Froman was actually a scientist, like a marine biologist or something. Does it say here? Some years ago, while preparing for publication his book, The Nerve of Some Animals, he spent several months studying the dolphins whose story makes an entertaining chapter in the book. And so apparently he was, I think he died some years ago. And, but he was a researcher or a biologist of some sort. And, so a quacko is a bottlenose dolphin, and so it basically starts with him being born, and it talks about the life of a young dolphin, and he sometimes gets into trouble with his young dolphin friends, and and has to be kind of bailed out. But he, at one point in his young life, he encounters what he calls elps. And it's humans but he calls them elps because they yell elp a lot. Apparently dolphins don't hear the H sound, that, I don't know. I forget the technical term for that, but they don't hear that kind of sound. So all he would hear was elp. And so he calls them elps, and he's fascinated with these creatures. He actually saves one falls off of a boat, and he rescues it. And so he becomes fascinated with these creatures that he thinks, because they have tentacles, that they're like maybe related to octopuses. And so he's quite the scientist, our quacko, and he starts observing them, and he'll like kind of put himself in danger to get closer to shore and get into tidal pools so that he can observe them on shore. And he's like, making this hierarchy of intelligence. Of course, dolphins at the top, as the most intelligent creatures, and then octopuses are way up there, and yeah, he's got elps up there. He's thinking maybe they're clearly related to the octopus, so maybe And they can kind of change colors, but it's different. And so he's trying to figure out how they change colors and cataloging their similarities and differences with the octopuses. Voiceless, okay, voiceless glottal fricative. Thank you. Um, but yeah, that's the H sound, the voiceless glottal fricative. But he's being very observant, and he thinks, yeah, maybe humans, the Alps, are up there with the octopuses, and then something happens. I'm not going to tell you what, but something happens, and he's like, nope, nope, nope. I'm going to put the Alps with the moray eels. And that's not a compliment. He's not impressed with the moray eels. But anyway, so and then he has some more little adventures, and it's a really cool book. And man, this is one that I wish they'd like reprint and get out there. He also talks a lot about the the senses that the echolocation that dolphins use, and he talks about octopuses and what he observes with them and how they sense things and how they react to things and their methods of communicating or escaping and things like that. And it seems to me like sort of an elementary school introduction to a lot of the concepts that Ed Yong had in An Immense World. And that was the book I was talking about last month that I read for Stranger Than Fiction. And that was an amazing book, really eye-opening, to use a very anthropocentric phrase. But yeah, I would recommend this to, find a copy and give to your kiddos to read. So those were the 3 books that I finished last week. So, wow, 17 minutes in. So this is probably going to be a really short one. I'll talk a little bit about a few things that I'm reading this week or looking forward to reading. Let's see. So the 52 book club, their summer challenge, talked a little bit about that. Most things I'm reading, I can slot somewhere in that so far. But yeah, the gold medal and I forget what some of the other things are. I'll probably do sort of a little wrap up just on that once I make some more progress. And let's see, Roll Your Next Read. Told you about that. So Quack on the Alps. And yeah, so if you want to kind of have a little sneak peek at next week's books, I have finished a few for Roll Your Next Read, and you can take a look at my shorts section here and see what I'm reading for that, and or have already read and continue to read. So right now I'm reading. I just started Out of the Blue by Jason June, I think, and that is it's a mermaid story or a mer people story, but it's very, very different from Chlorine. And yeah, so this is, I think, going to be a much more my style of read kind of book. It's YA. It's a YA romance, interspecies romance, I guess. But I don't know. Like I said, I've just started it, but so far it seems like it's going to be kind of fun. All right. And then let's see, what do we got? June on the Range, Big Book Summer, Sci-Fi Summer. So June on the Range, I have not started a Western yet. So I haven't even decided yet what I'm going to use for my first Western. I don't know. We'll see. I do have a Zane Grey. I've got a Louis L'Amour. I think I will probably, however, start with, let's just see if it happens to be near the top of this stack. It is not. It is way down there. But News of the World by Paulette Giles. Because I've already started on that. And yeah, so I should probably go with that one. Oh, so that will be starting my June on the Range. Big Book Summer. I'm torn between, I'm not sure which one to start first. There's Children of Ruin by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So I might do that. And then there's also A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. And I keep forgetting to put it on my banners, but the historical fiction readathon or reading challenge this month. And that would fit in that. It would also maybe fit in sci-fi summer. I don't know if it's sci-fi or fantasy. So I don't know. But it's actually a really long book. So I was kind of surprised at the page count. And but I do have that on audiobook. So I might start with that. Although I really do want to read Children of Ruin. We'll just see which lands, and actually Roll Your Next Read will probably decide that for me at some point. What else am I reading? So for sci-fi summer, I have started on Eversion by Alistair Reynolds. I don't think I've read anything by this author. Apparently he's pretty prolific, but I'm not familiar with him at all. But this is an interesting book. It's like, and it starts off in the 1800s. But let's see, it says, in the 1800s, a sailing ship crashes off the coast of Norway. In the 1900s, a Zeppelin explores an icy canyon in Antarctica. In the far future, a spaceship sets out for an alien artifact. Each excursion goes horribly wrong. And on every journey, Dr. Silas Code is the physician. But only Silas seems to realize that these events keep repeating themselves. It's up to him to figure out why and how to stop it all from happening again. So I have so many questions, and I've only just started it, and so I'm still in the 1800s section. And so far, it sounds fascinating. So I'm really looking forward to getting deeper into that. And book club meets on Thursday, so I don't have much time. And it looks thick, but it's only like 300 and some pages. Well, a lot. No, it's only 200 and some. It's 302 pages, and then there's credits and extras. And this is something interesting. Somebody was mentioning this, I think maybe at the Nebulas the other night. But anyway, the instead of like an acknowledgments with a bunch of crows, and I'm probably forgetting somebody, this is the credits section, and it's everybody who worked on the publication of the book. Audio, contracts, design, finance, editorial management, marketing, rights, operations, sales, publicity, everyone is listed. And I think that's really cool. And none of this, I'm sure I'm forgetting lots of people, so I'm just going to mention these people. And I don't know, I just noticed that, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And this is the other book that I've just started, and actually it's not the cover that I think I probably am going to DNF it, and it's not so far I think it's well written, but it does have a lot of content warnings in the front and the things that I'm kind of sensitive about. And I'm like, I don't think I want to read that. But here's the cover. This is my punishment for last week for complaining about things with too many legs. Yep. There you go, Brian. Yeah. And I am keeping the cover face down. Yeah, that's kind of what I've got going on. I haven't made a whole lot of other decisions about what to read and everything. Tentacles aren't legs. Okay, well, they're arms or they're tentacle. Anyway, they're limbs. Limbs. Um, but legs are extra bad. Lots of legs, extra bad. Extra arms aren't great, but they're better than extra legs. Anyway, any other comments on the covers of anything I'm reading, or what are you reading, or is there anything that you want to mention in your book world? Yeah. Wow, this is coming in under half an hour. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot. I'm just trying to keep up with everything right now and get caught up on a bunch of work stuff, poetry stuff, music stuff. But yeah, let me know what's going on in your lives. If you don't have time to comment, if we run out of time here, which we're about to do, because I don't really have anything else to say, then you can pop it in the comments section. And with that said, thank you for hanging out with me this evening for this 27 minutes and so many seconds. And please like and subscribe so that you can be notified of when I'm going to be holding things. And if nothing else, I will be doing shorts as I finish things for Roll Your Next Read. And I will be doing another book report next week, probably Monday or Tuesday evening. So thank you again, and talk at you later.